Hey guys, it's Jason, and today with the quarantine going on and stay at home and everything, I don't want to order fast food or do anything like that. I want to try to lose weight, so sticking with that, I'm going to be actually doing some meal prep videos mixed in with my other videos here on YouTube. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be making shepherd's pie. So it's not the healthiest meal ever, but I am doing it homemade from scratch. I can control the amount of sodium that goes into it and everything else. And hopefully it'll be a little bit better than eating out fast food or something like that. I can also portion control this. Alright guys, so what I'm going to start with is going to take a pot and put some hot water in there and start boiling it. And then we're going to wash some potatoes, and then we're going to boil some potatoes for about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, basically until they're soft. I'm going to leave the skin on the potatoes for this recipe. I actually really like the taste of skin on potatoes, plus it has the most vitamins from my understanding in there and nutrients. So I'm going to leave them on, but let's go ahead and get started here. Alright, so what you're going to do is once you have your potatoes washed off, you're just going to go ahead and take your knife. You just want to make sure you have a nice sharp one. And what you're going to do here is you're just going to go ahead and chop your potatoes up into smaller pieces. This way it cooks a little bit easier. It'll make it easier on your mixer or hand mixing, depending on what you're doing, to mix everything up. So what I like to do is cut them up into about 4 or 5 pieces, and then just go ahead and slice them down lengthwise once so they're sliced in the middle. And then you'll end up with your little quarters, kind of, or whatever size you want to call those. Alright, so I got all the potatoes here cut, so I got a full plate here, plus what's on the cutting board right now. So, just waiting for the water to boil up, and then we'll go ahead and get going with the next part. Alright guys, so welcome back. I went ahead and got my water boiling here, added just a pinch of salt to it, and got my potatoes, so I'm just going to dump them in there and we'll go ahead and get going. Just be careful when you put the potatoes in. Don't just like literally dump the whole plate in, because it will splash boiling water everywhere. Alright, so we got the potatoes boiling, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking about a tablespoon of butter here, and we're just going to go ahead and start melting the butter, and we're going to put some onions on top. I got a chopped onion, so we're just going to let that butter sit there for a moment. What we're doing here is I got a full onion, yellow onion, chopped up, not too fine of dicing. We're just going to go ahead and dump this in there. We're just going to saute the onions a little bit. So I don't use carrots in my recipe for this. This is my first time making it, but I'm not going to use carrots because I'm not a huge fan of carrots unless they're in like stew. So we're just going to use lots of onion instead. Alright, so the onions are looking pretty good here. I don't want to overcook them too much because they're going to get cooked in the oven as well. We're going to take the onions off here. Alright, so I got the onions taken care of. Next thing to do is to brown our beef. Now, unfortunately, they delivered the wrong type of meat for me. So I have either cube steak, which I guess I could try to cut up into small pieces and use for this, but they also accidentally sent me meatballs. So we're just going to try with meatballs and see how this turns out. So we're just going to go ahead and dump this in there. And we're going to start making sure that we kind of mash it up here so it's not staying in a meatball form, because we want this to be kind of like ground beef. Alright, so I went ahead and switched to a little bit bigger pan here because the other one was clearly not getting the job done. I didn't have enough room to really be able to work with it. This gives me plenty of room. And we will just let this sit for a little bit. Alright, so the meat's been cooking for a while now, so I'm just going to take my plate of onions here, and I'm going to go and scoop them all in. And we'll mix up the onions in there a little bit.
Alright, so I think we're looking pretty good. This is what it looks like right now. Got a lot of meat, onions nice and cooked. I think we're good to turn off the heat here. Alright, so the potatoes have been boiling for roughly around like 35 minutes or so. I wanted to make sure they're super soft. So at this point I'm going to turn off the heat. Now unfortunately I don't have any kind of a drain pan or anything. So what I have to do here is actually scoop out all the potatoes using just a slotted spoon. So this might take a little while. Alright guys, so we got our potatoes boiled here, so I got my mixer. I'm just going to go ahead and set this thing up on here. There we go, I think we're good. So we're just going to lift this thing up. Now this can get a little messy, so to start, I keep it on just one. And just kind of let it do its thing. You're going to see a lot of steam come off because it's really mixing it up. So we're just going to take this, kind of plop it in there. Normally I would soften up the butter ahead of time, but you know, I didn't think ahead. So we're just going to kind of let that sit for a minute and let it soften up inside the heat from the potatoes. Alright, so the butter's melted now, so we're going to go ahead and just turn this back on. Well, not melted, but softened up. Now, at this point here, we're going to add some salt and pepper to flavor. So I got some ground pepper here. Adding quite a bit of that to it. Salt-wise, I don't want to add a whole lot, so just kind of sprinkling just a little bit into there. So I got my sour cream. Just going to go ahead and dump some of that in there. Then I got my milk, just using 1%. I'm just going to dump it just a little bit in there to kind of wetten up the potatoes a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on it here. If I need a little bit more milk, I'll add it. Yeah, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Alright, we're all set with the potatoes. So we're going to let the potatoes sit for a minute because next thing to do is put all the ingredients together. Got a Pyrex dish and have a lid for it so when it comes out of the oven I can store it easily. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the meat and we're going to go ahead and put it in the bottom of this Pyrex dish. Now, I don't know about everybody's recipe, but mine I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of cheese on it. But I'm going to do it in between the meat and the potatoes. And again, I'm trying to eat healthy, so normally I would dump like a whole bag of this stuff on there. I'm not going to do it in this case. I'm going to use about half a bag, about 4 ounces of cheese total. So we got our bowl of potatoes here. Just going to scoop this out, place her on top, spread her out. Alright, so I went ahead and got the potatoes on here. They are level with the top, covering all the cheese. Make sure there's no cheese showing because you don't want that to be burnt. About 4 minutes left on the preheat of the oven, but I'm just going to plop it in now just because I can. Alright. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and set my phone here to a 30-minute start time. Going right now. It's 30 minutes. We come back and check on it, see how it is. And depending on how it is, we'll either let it go a little bit longer or cut it off early, depending on what it looks like. So we'll see you back here in 30 minutes, guys. I got a bunch of pots to clean up. All right, so I got my shepherd's pie here. Did a little mess up on it, unfortunately. Probably should not fill it up quite this high because I had some grease bubble up from the side over here and actually spill over into the oven. All right, guys, went ahead and took out the shepherd's pie. I had a little bit of the juices spill over the top onto the bottom of the oven, so it started smoking a little bit. I take it out a little bit early, but not too bad. I'm gonna take 1 serving worth here, put that onto my plate, and can't really see it that well from here, but that looks really good. All right, guys, got my shepherd's pie here. One thing before I eat every meal now is I'm drinking at least a cup of water before. That way I'm not as hungry. Hopefully I will eat this and I'll be completely full. Maybe not even finish all of it. We'll see. But let's go ahead and try a little bit of this. So I got some meat and potatoes. This really looks really hot. That's good. That's really good. So this is really good, guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish my dinner here, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good one.